You can feel happy every moment of your life, but only when you want to feel so, and only when you want it bad enough. All of us want to be happy without realizing that being happy is just an option. It's a choice that you have to make every single second of your life. And a lot of us feel unhappy because we literally choose unhappiness over happiness. We choose suffering over joy. That's it. Whatever is happening in your life right now, you always have two ways to react to it. You can either only focus on the negative things and suffer, or you can direct your focus to what's going right and enjoy the peace that comes with it. And I know this can sound so annoying to some of you, so cliche and impractical, because I used to feel exactly the same way when someone told me these things. When someone told me that I should be grateful for what I had and interpret reality in a way that calms my mind and relieves my anxiety. I used to hate these pieces of advice so much. And the reason why I hated these words so much is because I was addicted to victim playing and negativity, to a point where these self-destructive behaviors and patterns became my comfort zone. And I didn't want to get out of it, even when the assistance and guidance was right in front of my eyes. They were available right in front of my eyes. Even when I was listening to the advice from the wisest people, I just couldn't absorb them. We don't realize that once we stay in a terrible place mentally with a messed up mindset, we subconsciously recognize all of our negativity, our overthinking, anxiety, depression as a part of our identity. How dangerous that is! We start to think that this is who I am. An anxious, depressed, negative, irritable, miserable person. This is who I am. And it becomes a part of our identity. And then we become familiar with it. It becomes our comfort zone and we don't want to get out of it. And the sentence, "this is who I am," is so limiting and suffocating. We are just making assumptions about who we are, our personality and our identity, based on our past experiences and the tendencies that we have been following. We are putting ourselves in a box that limits us, and we cannot see ourselves from a broader, more objective perspective. And because of this, we don't even want to look at other options or be open to receiving guidance, even when our current identity and thinking patterns are sabotaging us. This inclination towards comfort and familiarity has been scientifically studied. The amygdala, our brain's threat detector, calms down when things feel predictable, even when that predictability is hurting us. That's why we stay in unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, negative thinking, and behavioral patterns, just because they are familiar. Psychologists also call this the status quo bias. We tend to stick to what we know, even when change could lead to something better. It took me a long time to really open my eyes and see and accept the truth that I was making myself suffer for the most part. I was suffering so much inside just because of my thoughts and beliefs. It's true that there will be difficult things that can happen in our lives, even heartbreaking and painful ones. But what hurts us the most is our interpretation of what's happening. And what hurts us even more is that we allow that interpretation to control our emotions. You can easily find people who are facing the same life situation and they can have completely different ways to react or respond to it. For example, let's consider the incident of spilling coffee over one's working desk. One person can get furious and start swearing because some of their papers are now wet and stained. Another person can be thankful that at least they didn't spill coffee over their laptop keyboard. And the same thing goes with other life situations. It often takes us a lot of pain and suffering to be determined enough to change our ways of reacting to life and choose something that brings us peace. Like for me, before I made the decision to change and start choosing happiness for myself every day, I had been so negative, so depressed, so miserable, to a point where I looked back at myself and I was like, who is this person? This is not who I am. I don't want to keep being like this, acting like this, feeling like this for the rest of my life. And I was able to look back at myself and experience this wake-up call because I had been feeling so terrible that it made me startle and detach from my miserable self and look at it with more mindfulness and awareness. But saying that does not mean that you have to wait for a crisis or a mental breakdown to change. You can choose something better for yourself right now. Because you deserve so much more than constant anxiety and worry. You deserve happiness and peace. But only you can give it to yourself by looking back at yourself and making changes, by being aware of the negative patterns that you are falling into and breaking free from them. You cannot find happiness from any external source. No one and nothing can really ease your mind and bring you lasting happiness. Only you can do that. But you can only choose happiness when you really want it bad enough. And this is the most important part. Do you want to be happy? Like really, really, really want it so bad? Are you determined to feel happy? Are you committed to happiness? And these questions are so important, but we don't give them enough consideration, like serious consideration. We often think that we don't have to be determined to be happy, but it takes a lot of discipline and determination and inner strength to be happy. And I'm not talking about the superficial, fleeting kind of happiness that is dependent on other people and external factors. I'm talking about everlasting happiness that comes from within. When you are determined and committed to feel happy every day, you will always be in a state of calm and relaxation and peace and appreciation for life, because now you have it on top of your priority list. So I think it's just all about what you are prioritizing in your life. Are you prioritizing peace or chaos? Happiness or unhappiness? When you change your priority, you will also change your subject of focus, and your brain will start seeking evidence to support and reinforce what you prioritize. So once you start the habit of recognizing good things are present around in your life, you will gradually make it become a mental habit that you have, a daily routine, a part of your identity, a part of your personality, and you will be that person who is in the middle of a crisis who says, hey, at least we still have this, at least we still have that. This is still going well. Let's focus on this and find solutions for the rest. It takes a lot of awareness and discipline, that's for sure, like I said before, but it's so worth it, you guys. Because once you have developed a lens to see good things that are present around you, you will never go back again. You will never go back to that miserable, unhappy self again. You are a new person. I hope that you will consider better choices for yourself and start choosing happiness for yourself every day, because once again, you deserve it so much. And I wish you nothing but happiness, joy, and peace. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.